Welcome one and all to 442 and hello to all the Cleary heads out there. Note to self, never say that again. Anyway, yes, it is the international break currently, which is of course football's slow news day stretched out for 2 entire weeks. So I thought what I would do is have you all do my job for me and tell me what you want to see a video about. But the overwhelming answer we got more than anything else was Arne Slot. How he make Liverpool so good so quick. So yeah, this is that. Alright, so I had a good, long, hard think about it, and I think the two main interesting points of Slot's Liverpool are here and here, specifically Gravenberch and Alexander-Arnold. Now we'll start with your man Trent here, right? This is a typical heat map for him last season. You know what a heat map is? It measures sort of where they're touching the ball and where they're not touching the ball. Now you will see, as part of Jurgen Klopp's sort of desire to have him be this inverted fullback and move into the centre, loads of his touches of the ball are in this middle part of the pitch. And Liverpool fans, you remember how that worked. You had a 4-3-3 at the time. 𝗬𝗫𝗧𝗏 was there, so the idea is he'd shuffle over, Trent would come into the middle, and then you'd end up with like this 3-2 build-up shape. But the major thing that has changed now is it's not a 4-3-3, it's a 4-2-3-1, except one of the pivots pushes right up, you kind of get 2-8, Gravenberch moves into the middle, then the two fullbacks both push up, not that high now, but onto the same line, and you get a 2-3. Wow, Adam, fascinating stuff. It was a 3-2 last season, but now it's a 2-3. No wonder they're top of the league. End of video. Don't forget to subscribe. Good night. And okay, yeah, a bit passive-aggressive, but fair enough. The reason you want 3 players across this line instead of 2 is how it enabled you to control the ball in the opposition half. Now, I was physically, in real life, at the Liverpool Crystal Palace game, and you saw them do this a lot, right? But imagine you've got good territory, and you've got all 5 of these attacking players pushed up against the opposition back 4, or in Crystal Palace's case, a back 5. What Liverpool like to do in these situations, rather than overcommitting with any of these 3 players, is to maintain a gap between that line and the attacking line, which in Palace's case, they had 2 other midfielders, baits them out, but obviously it's impossible for them to close down those 3 with that 2. But obviously, because they've still got to try and at least put some pressure on the ball, that leaves you with a massive gap. And wow, again, Adam, a massive gap, you say. No wonder the top of the league. End of video. Don't forget to subscribe. Good night. And again, needlessly passive-aggressive, but this sort of scenario is so perfect for Liverpool because of the kind of players they've got. Virtually anybody they will be playing in this front line is really, really good at receiving the ball with their back to goal and then turning straight away. And because you've got this huge gap here to play into, any one of these players can make that run back into it, receive the ball, get turned, and all of a sudden, that's a great scenario to be in. But of course, other teams aren't stupid, are they? And know Liverpool are quite good at doing this. So if someone does make that run and the defender goes with them to keep the pressure on and stop them turning, this creates huge areas of space for other players to get into, who can then be found by these good passes of the ball. Again, bang, another great situation to get into. But then if even that isn't working, because Liverpool so often find themselves man for man in these areas, you can just make the whole thing incredibly narrow and compact, and then all of a sudden, because you've got 2 fullbacks in these wider positions, you've created room for them to carry the ball up the pitch and get in that way. Bang! Great positions to be in. And even in far more simplistic terms, if you've just got the ball on that side of the pitch, everybody naturally is going to shuffle across like that, and that leaves the room for a diagonal into this space for a fullback like your Trent Alexander-Arnold's to be on the receiving end of. Like, it opens up loads of possibilities. And thus, if we go back to the heat maps he was producing last season, yep, there it is. You saw it just a few minutes ago, and we replace it with something from this season, like, I don't know, top of my head, the Crystal Palace game, you will see all that's pretty much gone. He's not getting involved in that central area of the pitch. He is not the pivot. He is providing a direct wide threat, both in his own half and in the final third. His total number of ball carries are way up because he's now got all this space to run into rather than being in a congested central area of the pitch. And also his passes are way, way down. And that's not a bad thing, it just means not every single thing in the centre of the pitch is having to go through him. One of the weirdest stats, though, is his pass completion, and in particular, his medium range pass completion. And that might seem really odd, like is he somehow bad at this type of passing now? But if you take his heat map, right, from the Palace game, and you don't show his successful passes, you show his unsuccessful passes, virtually all of them that haven't come off is an attempt at playing a killer ball in behind the defence for Mo Salah to get onto the end of. Like, Trent Alexander-Arnold has a standing kill order if he sees that run being made to try and find Salah with it. And yes, it is wasteful because it's a low percentage ball. It's not going to come off all that often. But when it does, lethal. So yes, all in all, Trent Alexander-Arnold in this Liverpool side is no longer a pivot player who gets on the ball for possession's sake and passes it for passing's sake. He's being used as a far more direct, effective attacking weapon. He gets on the ball in better positions. And if you look at his total number of touches, like per game, last season to this season, like this is just not the sort of heat map you would have seen him have last year, like in any game whatsoever. Like this is a proper attacking classic fullback role, which I think is a better use of him. Oh, and also whisper this very, very, very quietly, but because he's not constantly getting caught slightly out of position in the centre of the pitch and thus being targeted when Liverpool are in transition, his defensive numbers are very slowly starting to move towards what you would consider good. So maybe, again, whisper this one, but maybe it wasn't that Trent can't defend. Maybe it was the system made it really hard for him to defend. Maybe. Right, so anyway, yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold is not a pivot in this Liverpool system anymore. Why has that happened? Who is? The answer is this man, Ryan Gravenberch. And I did ask a native Dutch speaker how exactly you pronounce that, and do you know what she said to me? She said, leave me alone. Anyway, so you're constantly seeing Liverpool listed as this 4-2-3-1 shape. Like, theoretically, it's a double pivot with him and McAllister. But just, I'm going to quickly show you McAllister's heat map from the Palace game, right? That is not a man even remotely interested in doing anything in the build-up in his own half. He goes and plays as this left-sided A, Curtis Jones moving out with a 10 into the other side. It is all this guy. And I mean, yeah, fair enough. If we look at his heat map from the Palace game, that is a man doing the work of two players. Like, he is so constantly involved in this area, going left, going right, getting it, passing it, receiving it, moving it, progressing it up the pitch. But also, he doesn't just dawdle around. He pushes forward into these attacking areas, provides an extra body, exploits any space. He is as all action in that number 6 role as you could possibly hope to see. Like, he is easily, in my opinion, the surprise package of the Premier League this season. Like, from a physical perspective, he's got that robust steeliness that you need from a number 6, but also when you get him on the ball or he has to travel with the team, he's really elegant and graceful, and he's got these just mad long legs that are simultaneously excellent for tackling and also for just eating up the ground. But more importantly, as far as Liverpool are concerned, he seems to have this, like, inbuilt will to want to progress the ball forwards at every opportunity, which is a huge part of playing that role, because anybody could just get dropped in there and knock it sideways and knock it backwards, but he wants to move it forwards whenever he can. Like, if I overlay you his pass map as well, there's probably nothing in that that's going to immediately jump out to you. Like, yes, there's plenty sideways and some backwards as well, but trust me, right, for someone parachuted into that position, playing for a team like Liverpool who so often find themselves up against two defensive lines, so a really high number of those are forward. Like, lesser players or even just good players learning the role as he is would be playing so much safer, so much more, air quotes, negative. But you just see he's got this inbuilt need to want to move it forward. And if we go and look at his numbers, which we're about to, that's there. Like, his progressive passes, which is any pass that sort of helps you move the team up the pitch, they're obviously really good, but you can see one of his main attributes is his carrying, like his progressive carries, his carries into the final third, his carries into the penalty area. Like, this is a player who is invaluable for moving you and the ball up the pitch. And if you watch him, like, what he's able to do with his body, the way he's able to manipulate the ball, manipulate the space, and manipulate the opposition with just simple stuff like drops of the shoulder and feints and whatnot. Like, to have that in that first sort of part of the pitch where you need to get through players and you need to open things up. Like, honestly, I can't say enough positive things about how he's been this season. Like, I think he's the real difference between like a teething period and a settling in period for Liverpool and where they are now. Like, I think it does all mostly come down to him. And even defensively, he's fine as well. Like, some of these numbers will look low, but they're more a reflection of sort of the possession and the dominance Liverpool have. Like, these things just don't come up as often as they do for other teams. Then you look at the percentage of tackles coming off, they're great. And it's not on here, but he's Liverpool's best winner of duels by percentage this season, and nobody else in the squad, whether it's tackles, interceptions, recoveries, just any way you can go and do it, nobody in this Liverpool team has got the ball back more than he has. So yeah, they don't need Trent or McAllister or anybody else for that matter in that position, because they've just gone down the back of the sofa and found this like rugged, steely, determined, solid, but also graceful, technical, elegant and forward-thinking number 6 just in the squads already. And overall, these two things have not drastically, but certainly significantly changed who Liverpool are as a team. Like, if you compare their numbers last season to this season, gone are the high turnovers, in-your-face, smash-mouth football. They've dropped way down the league for the number of tackles won in the final third, and instead they press far more selectively. Like, they will do it, they will get right up in the opposition, but it tends to be trigger-based and only in very certain circumstances or certain game states. And as I'm sure I've seen a graph saying, they've only been losing for 2 or 3% of the season so far. We're yet to really see them go and chase a game, so we might see that change as they do. Now, you combine all of these factors with Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, 2 players who, as excellent as they are, a lot of people expect to be entering a period of physical decline. Like, maybe their minutes were going to need to be managed, maybe their performances were going to drop off, and instead they've turned up this season as good, if not better, than they have ever been for Liverpool. Like, they have been monstrous, they have been massive, they are reaching new levels of the already insane levels they've set for themselves. So you combine this like good, smart, useful system change with these performances, and you've got a team, I'm going to be really careful here, you've got a team that could really do something this year. Like, they are certainly title contenders. And depending on how important you think the Rodri and the 𝗕𝗫𝗓𝗏 injuries are, maybe title favourites? Maybe? Actually, I'm saying maybe. They've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton and Villa next. And if they come through that run with like really good results, like whisper it, but if they won all of those games or certainly didn't get beat, why not? Who says no? Either way though, after that run of fixtures, we will know precisely what we have got on our hands here with this Liverpool team. And that, either way, for me, who's got no skin in the game here, is very exciting. Anyway, speaking of very exciting, so is the entire rest of the output of this channel. So why not subscribe to it? I keep forgetting to ask you to do that since we hit 600,000, which, by the way, if you did during the journey we've had to get there, many thanks. I love you big lot. The comment section is down there if you want to tell me about your feelings, thoughts, and whatever's in your heart about this Liverpool side. And you can get me across all the social medias at @𝗕𝗫𝗧𝗏, CLERY, all of them. FourFourTwo socials are in the corner of the video. Latest issue of the mag is on screen there. I'm going to put it on the other side so you can see everything going on at once. And yeah, until next time, Arne Slot's Liverpool, as requested by the people who follow me on social media. There will be more like that. It was very nice not having to think this morning. Goodbye. Well, dead simple. It's Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch. It's Ryan Gravenberch. It's Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch. Whatever you want to call him.